Okay, we're looking at Minitest 3, so that's on surds, and we're on question 2, and we've got two questions we have to rationalise the denominator, and the key thing is it does say showing or working, so you can use your calculator to check your final answer, but you do need to show your method. Okay, so for this first one, I am going to multiply through by a fraction that has the same two terms as that, so it's 3 root 2, but with the opposite sign. So if the denominator of the original fraction was 3 root 2 minus 1, I'm going to multiply through by 3 root 2 plus 1. And I don't actually want to change the value of the fraction, so to keep it an equivalent fraction, I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by the same thing. So we'll come back to the numerator, so I'm just going to leave that factorised for now. Okay, so on the denominator, if I use FOIL, because I basically want to multiply those two pairs of brackets together, so I've got 3 root 2 times 3 root 2, so that's going to be 9 times 2, so 18. And of course you could do these individual calculations on your calculator. Then I've got 3 root 2 times 1, and then minus 1 times 3 root 2, and then minus 1 times 1. And what's going to happen there is the plus 3 root 2 and the minus 3 root 2 are going to cancel each other out, and that will always happen on this type of question. That's why we chose to multiply through by the same thing but with the opposite sign there. So you can either write the whole expansion, or you can just do the first two terms multiplied together. So that was the 3 root 2 times the 3 root 2, and the last two terms multiplied together. So that was the minus 1 times the 1. Okay, right, then I'm going to need to also multiply out that numerator. So I'll use FOIL again. So first times first, that's going to be 30 root 2. Then outer times outer, so that's going to be 10 times 1. Then inner times inner, so that's going to be 3 times root 2 times root 2. So that's just 3 times 2, so 6. And then last times last, so that's just root 2 times 1, and that's all over 18 take away 1, so all over 17. So now I can just collect my like terms together. So I've got 30 root 2 plus 1 root 2, so I've got 31 root 2, and then the 10 plus the 6, and then that's all over 17, and then I just need to check if that cancels any further, and obviously that there's no common factors there, so that would be my final answer for part A. So for part B, okay, so just a little bit trickier, because I think before I even rationalise the denominator, I am going to multiply out that numerator. So root 3 plus 1 all squared means root 3 plus 1 times root 3 plus 1. Okay, so I'm not rationalising the denominator yet, I'm just expanding those brackets. So first times first, so root 3 times root 3, outer times outer, so root 3 times 1, inner times inner, so 1 times root 3, and last times last. Okay, so if I then collect my like terms together, I've got the 3 plus the 1, and I've got root 3 plus root 3, so that's 2 root 3 on that numerator. Okay, so now I am going to rationalise the denominator. It's the same as the previous one. I'm going to multiply through by the same denominator but with the sign changed, and I'm trying to find an equivalent fraction of the same value, so I'm going to need to multiply numerator through by the same thing. Okay, so let's just do each of those. So right, so this time on the denominator, I'm just going to do the root 3 times the root 3, so that's root 9 or 3, and the minus 2 times the 2, so that's minus 4, okay, because those middle two terms will cancel each other out. But if you prefer to write them, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, the numerator isn't going to cancel out, so on the numerator, I'm going to have 4 times root 3, I'm going to have 4 times 2, I'm going to have 2 root 3 times root 3, so that's going to be 2 times 3, so 6, and 2 root 3 times 2, so that's going to be 4 root 3. So if I collect my like terms together on my numerator, I've got 4 root 3 plus 4 root 3. So 8 root 3, and then the 8 plus the 6, so 14. And then that's all over minus 1. And because I'm looking to simplify fully, I'm not going to leave it like that. Dividing everything through by minus 1 will just change the sign of everything. Okay, so that then would be my final answer.